Hey guys, thanks for coming out, checking out Lithos and Lasers. I enjoy making tutorials for you, helping everybody learn how to use their Glowforge. I try to keep them short. As you'll see, it never happens. So sit back, relax. If you enjoy this content, it really helps if you hit like and subscribe. I hate to ask, but it really does help the channel and keep me motivated to make more tutorials. So without further ado, on to the content. Alright guys, Terry at Lithos and Lasers, and what we're going to do right now, it's kind of extra credit. So this is our end goal. We should have already talked about printing out your top layer. At this point I probably already showed you how to go out, cut, score, paint, etc. the back layer. So what we're going to talk about right now is where that back layer came from. So the good news is you don't have to worry about this. I've already put one in the share and it's ready to use. So just go download it. And so this is more for learning how it happened. So what I have here is a American flag SVG. I'm going to paste in our ornament backer at its normal size. So what I'm going to do next is take our American flag. I'm going to size it down, keeping the proportions. We're going to zoom in a bit. And what my goal is to get the center of our ornament covering part of this flag, starfield. So something about like that looks pretty good. I'm going to nudge up just a little bit right there, and there isn't another stripe in our flag, so I'm gonna come back down so that we're ending on the actual color, which means I gotta move over a little bit again. All right. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna copy and paste our original ornament design, so we have a copy. Just kind of nudge it out of the way. Out of the way. There we go. All right. So we want to erase all of this extraneous stuff out of what's going to be needed in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything, go to our Pathfinder, and I'm going to divide. Next, I'm going to go to ungroup. So now we have stuff that's outside of our circle. So I'm going to select that and hit delete twice, well once. I'm going to delete this one. Delete, delete, delete. Now our stars are being a little bit more difficult. Looking pretty good. We often, when we do a divide, we're going to have stuff that's left over in the background. And we want to make sure all those extra paths are gone. We're looking pretty good right now. That wasn't too difficult, I would say. We do have a tiny bit of stuff that's outside, like up here. And if we go to our node editing tool, we can actually clip 2 hits of the delete key, and we can actually really fine tune it. It's not so necessary. It's not going to be in your final design anyway. But are you happy now? So next up, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we still have our outline cut, and we still have our inner cut for our circle there. What I'm going to do next is I'm just cheating a tiny bit, and I'm going to grab all this. I'm going to group it together again. Right? So that's all one thing. If we want to, we can fix the length of this right here. Stop moving. We can delete that anchor. And then this guy that we set, whoa, get back on your regular selection tool. We didn't group those two things together. So let's do that real quick. It'll make sense in a second. It's just for alignment purposes. So, because I want to make sure that our backer ends up with this hole. So now we're going to select both of these items. I'm going to align them. It can be aligned to the top, the bottom, whatever. Now they're on the same plane there. So now I'm going to ungroup those. I'm actually going to get rid of this. I don't need it anymore. Now I'm going to align those horizontally. Before I do that, I'm going to set that to a different color, just so that it's another step. So I'm also going to add a stroke. We want to be able to cut out our ornament backer without cutting all of these blue lines that are also in the center. So this is all going to be a score. So let me go ahead and grab our ornament buddy again. Oh, I already got it open. So copy. So forget what I said there. This is our ornament. I'm going to make this a unique color. If it will let me. All right. So we're already using red and stuff. So I'm going to go green is going to be our cut color. Glowforge does not care what the cut color is. We just want to be able to isolate it. All right, group those together. Does that look like a different size to you? All right. Copy. We gotta find our project here. 40026 is correct. 45246. That's correct. what do we got going on here? Our size is a little bit different, so let's fix that. I'm going to copy this size. Got my aspect ratio still turned on. Let's see if that automatically gets it perfect. So 45287 is our bottom. 45246. So we're going to go ahead and still copy this number. Now I'm going to turn off my aspect ratio and paste it. So we were only slightly off, so those two numbers, nothing changed. So I don't know how we started with a slightly off-sized ornament, but we did. We're good. So now we have our green, we have our blue. We're going to align those. We're going to not align those yet. We're going to group all this again. Right? That move is one piece. Yep. All right. So now, aligned, aligned. All right. So that's going to cut. So we have cuts, we have scores, etc. in here. From doing this last night, I learned that we want this line as well. So I'm going to give us another option. Going to go yellow this time. Because at one point, probably your first point, you're going to score all this. You're just going to peel off this corner and you're going to spray paint that blue. There's nothing to score that. Or at least there wasn't last night. So we're just going to make sure that we have a score line there. So line up, hold shift, pull up, let go, and then come off. So now you have another option. You can ignore it or you can use it and you can score that line. So there's our perfectly sized ornament backer. I'm going to export it, and for this time, make sure that there's nothing else on our bed. Nope, we're good. So I'm going to save it as an SVG, and I normally save as PDF. PDF will retain all of your sizing perfectly. However, if you import the PDF back in, you're going to have to go to Object, Clipping Mask, Release, and then delete the four corners before you can work on just your stuff here. If we save it as a PDF, that's not an issue, but you need to choose an extra setting because PDF by itself often will resize. So now my computer wants to be dumb and mess up my save as dialog because I'm recording a video. Why not be dumb now? All right, I'm going to cheat. When Illustrator does this to me, I kill it. I launch it again, and when I launch it, it says, you had all this crap open before, and it restores everything for me. Because likelihood, I could not go in and hit file save on all that stuff because the dialog was broke. Annoying. Yep, open all that crap again. Okay. File. Save as. There we go. And we're going to call it the American flag ornament backer. And we're going to save it as an SVG. We're going to put it in our folder here. So next, you want to pay attention. You want to hit more options, and you want to uncheck responsive. With that unchecked, your size should remain pretty much exactly the same. If you hit responsive, who knows what size it's going to be when you're done. So we have saved that. Now we're going to open up another tab in our Glowforge. Going to bring that in. It's weird that that preview was blank. So, all right, we're good. So now we're at the point where we are printing this ornament, but my Glowforge is offline. I'm going to cut here in a second to the video of me doing all of those steps. So what we're going to do is the first time, we are going to cut the outline and the ornament hole. I'm using Lowe's whiteboard, so I have a preset for that. And FYI, it is 145 full, 1 pass. And my wood, normally I do autofocus. I did the actual 11.8 here. So you see in red, it's going to cut out our outline and our circle in the middle. So we're gonna mask our whiteboard. We're gonna put it in the Glowforge, and we're gonna pin it down on at least 3 sides. That way it can't shift up and down, and it can't shift like to the right. So we pin it over there. That wood is not moving the rest of the project. So our wood is masked. We're going to cut out this shape. We're also going to do some of our scores. So we're going to score. This is a score I created a long time ago, and I seem to like it for everything. 340 power, 1 pass. As you can see, this is what it's going to score. And so we can ignore all of our stripes right now. We can actually ignore our stars, probably the entire project, because they're included in this. And we can ignore these. So your first job, you're going to go hit go on, and you're going to set focus here. Wait for it to focus. Put this on the wood where you want it. Hit print, and then go out there and hit the button. My video will pick up on that. Part 2. So you go out there. This shape has cut out. It's masked, so you're gonna pop this out. We're gonna peel the masking here, leaving the masking over the stars where it was. So now everything is masked except for this area around the stars. Spray paint it. Give it 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes to dry. Remove the rest of your masking. You can leave the masking over the stars the entire time if you used whiteboard. If you didn't use whiteboard, at some point you're going to score this again and peel all the masking off the stars. I would just use whiteboard if I was you. That's kind of tedious. So congratulations, we cut that or we scored the inner side, we peeled this off, we spray painted it blue, we pulled all of our extra masking off, and then we put a new piece of masking over the whole thing again. We opened up our lid, dropped this back in the Glowforge. Next, we don't need to cut this shape out anymore. But we do need to cut the masking. So now we're going to change those to scores, right? We don't need to cut this section anymore. We're done with it. It's nice, pretty patriotic blue. Okay. So on our second trip back into the Glowforge, we're going to pick these. One of them, it looks identical. So I'm going to pick this one. And we're going to score it. Let me make sure. All right. So our red sections that we're going to spray paint red, our red lines up with the bottom of this blue. So over on our interface, we're going to score all this. We're going to take it out. And this time, the masking that we pull is going to be this piece, this piece, this piece, right? So every other one, starting with this one. Pull, pull, pull. Something's going on with that line right there. Let me try this one. And ignore that one. Huh. Okay. No harm, we're turning on both scores. Everything you see there is going to be scored. Hit your project, hit go. Do not adjust this. So you put this back in the Glowforge and it's looking like, oh, it's over there a little bit. Do not move this. Nothing has changed. So just load your stuff in, hit focus again, turn on your scores, hit print. Don't mess with nothing else. So you hit score, you go back out to the Glowforge, you're peeling here, and then every other one, spray paint in red. When that's done, you let it dry. You're going to peel the rest of the masking. Be careful not to scratch anything. And at that point, you're going to have one of these backers, right? You're going to have something that looks like this. You place it behind, and you're going to have that. I went ahead and put some red and white and blue baubles on there on a cord, and it looks really nice. So at this point in the video, we're going to jump to all of the processes out at the Glowforge as far as masking, peeling, painting. I'm sorry, masking, scoring, peeling, painting, masking, scoring, peeling, painting, etc. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Something else that you can do with your original files is size it up. So this is the regular 4.5 inch version of the ornament. This is the same thing. And this is actually the version of the ornament I'm going to put up in the share. The files section of Homestyles Customs Facebook page. But as you'll see, or you won't see, I also had an 11-inch version of that. So maybe that's this one. Let's see. That is this one. So this one is 10.9 tall in the sideways orientation by 12/32/16. So all you have to do to resize this up is select it, make sure your aspect ratio is locked, and enter the new height. Your width will adjust. I will say, if you want this the biggest it can be, turn it sideways, because if you go this way first, tall, you're gonna have to set your height to fit the Glowforge at 10.9. You can do that, but now it's not as wide. So it's 10.9 tall, but 9.6 wide. But if you simply turn it on its side first, this little guy is not going to mess with you. And now if we make this 10.9 tall, you get some extra size. So, and then cut it like this in the Glowforge, sideways. You can either cut it as a really big ornament, or what I did is I made another circle. I made a 10.9 circle, which is not a square or a rectangle. Okay. If you hold shift, it's going to be symmetric. 10.9, right? Let's make this another color. So we're not using pink. All right. So make sure this guy's all grouped up. Select the two of them. Put them on the same bottom plane. Then put them on the same horizontal plane. Right? So this is another tip for you. When you go out there and you're doing your cutting, ignore your pink circle the whole time that you're cutting this. You can actually ignore the pink circle on that part the whole time. In fact, we don't need it. Let me take it. Where we do need it is on this guy. So let's take that pink guy and let's align it over there. Boom, boom. All right. I'm lying to you a little bit. We need it in both places. Boom, boom. All right. Your main ornament, you're going to cut it. Then you're going to turn on this line and you're going to cut. Actually, just cut this pink line for your outline the first time, and you'll skip having to cut this at all. The second time, when you're doing all your painting and masking and stuff, I would totally be cutting like that green line or whatever was back there before that includes the tip. Can you imagine I used pink already? Oh, what is going on? How about orange? Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay. So, cut the pink outline. Take it out, score it, paint it, blah, 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 blah. When you're all done with your final score, and like, so you are scoring all these red sections that you're going to take out and paint, and you're done with the Glowforge at that point, cut the orange line. That's going to cut this off. The reason that you want this part right here in is because when you're taking the ornament out, then you're putting it back in, you don't want any chance that when you put it back in, it's a little bit skewed. And as a round shape, that's totally possible. But with this tip on the end, it can't rotate. It's got to fit back in exactly where it was. So if you're making a 10.9 inch round sign, and you do not want it to look like a big ornament, when you're done, cut it, and that's going to cut this part here off. So I hope that was helpful. And now we're on to the Glowforge exercises. All right, so I'm going to make a special American flag backer for this ornament. And we'll see how it turns out. It's an idea in my head at the moment. This is walnut, MDF core 1/4 inch walnut, and I'll show you one of my techniques here. I'm going to mask this board, which is white. I'm going to cut the ornament shape out with this board pinned down. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to peel the masking for a section and go red stripes. I'm going to mask it again. I'm going to score it, peel the other masking, paint the blue stripes or blue sections, and then when I'm all done, I'll remove the remaining masking, revealing the whiteboard. So that's the idea. Let me get this masked up. All right, we're all masked up pretty. Let's get this in the Glowforge. Get it pinned down. Pinning down is very important because we don't want this to move, and we're going to be taking the ornament out, putting it back, out, putting it back. So we want to make sure this is right where it's at. All right, so what I got is I got 2 pins at the bottom to keep me down. I got 1 pin at the bottom over here to keep me left. Now I'm not actually going to be removing the whole board, so I'm going to add another pin up here just to lock it in place. So now everything we do, we can pull pieces out, put pieces back, and they're always going to be right here. So let's go start up the first cut. Should be pretty quick. So we're done. We're not taking this out. We're just going to take our backer out. I'm going to have to make sure I get this circle cut out. Anyway, right now the black and white stripes are going to be confusing, so over here is going to be blue. This stripe that connects on the blue section, this is a red stripe. So red, 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 red. Also, over here is blue, over here is red. So I'm going to score this so I can take out this blue section too. Alright, so now we're scored, and I'm going to cut out, or I'm going to peel off just this blue section, leaving the white stars in place, leaving everything else in place. Alright, we're peeled. Now this is going to get spray painted blue. Everything's going to get spray painted blue. That's what our masking is for. And then we're going to remove the masking, put new masking down, put it back in, score it again, and then we're going to do red. So let's get ready to paint. Using Krylon Fusion, I get it at Lowe's. It's about $3.50, $3.80 a can or so. Alright, so beautiful. We just need to wait for that to dry a little bit, maybe 10-15 minutes. We'll pick up. Off camera, I just added a quick second coat up there to get good coverage, and now I've got it sitting in front of this window AC to help it dry faster. Alright, so it's been a while, it's dry, so we're going to take off pretty much all of the current mask. Actually, we only need to take off what's going to be red. Well, we're going to remask it anyway, so I'll probably just pull it all. And we don't have to do anything over here. I don't have to unmask the stars, because we'll just unmask those at the end. So that's going to be just fine. I do have a tiny bit of blue paint there to clean up. This is whiteboard, so I can probably just scratch it off. One sec. So I got just the tiniest bit of LA Awesome right here to help clean off that edge. So with my score, we kind of got like a mini shiplap going on, huh? All right. So now we're going to mask this again and put it back. So we've got our masking. I'm not going to push super hard. I don't want to pull that blue paint. I'm almost out of masking, so I'm trying to conserve. Otherwise, I would have normally just ripped off the whole section. All right. So we are remasked. We are ready to stick it back in the Glowforge. It's going right back where it lives. This is especially easy having this nub up here, because with that we can't rotate because that's sticking up. So that's a great assistance. So let's go in there and turn on our scores again. One other change I made is we've already cut the ornament out, so we don't need to cut it again. So I changed that outer to a score. That way we're still cutting through the paper, can still pull our ornament out, but we're not wasting the time and adding extra scorch around the edge by doing that cut again for no reason. So plan next is we're going to remove certain white stripes and spray paint red. And then when that's dry, we can unmask everything. We should have a nice American flag ornament backer. I also changed the center of our ornament up there to a cut so that our hole gets cut out. So here it's just doing a score to cut through that paper. We should be done with the Glowforge pretty much at this point. We're gonna peel, paint, peel, and then we're done. So, but I'm gonna leave that white board still where it's at, just in case. All right, so back to our thing. Red, 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 red. next time I'll add a line right here in Illustrator to facilitate this cut. This line did not get a cut. And this is going to be behind something, but I still would like to have a crisp line there. Sharp line. It may seem a little tedious, but it's not that bad. And it really sets us apart from everybody else just doing the same old thing, right? So make it red, huh? Again, this time we got some Rust-Oleum Gloss Red. We have that because I couldn't find red like anywhere. So I got Rust-Oleum. I believe actually I picked this one up at Walmart because Home Depot didn't even have any red. So ooh, are you blind yet? Okay, so what I'm doing again, I'm gonna set this bucket up here to get me next to the AC and help it dry. And now we wait again. All right, let's see, are we dry? We're glossy, and we're dry. Sorry while I get into focus here again. So this time, all the masking is coming off. Oh, did he just do that? Oh my gosh. Of course I did. I can paint pen that. So now we have our fun little stars. I'm gonna pause while I get these 2 layers of masking off real quick. Push hard enough, you can get them both at once. But you don't want to screw up and scratch the surrounding area either. I'm going to see before I fix that spot if it's visible through the top design. All right. So there's our backer that we made. Here's our front. So we're both going to see how this looks like together. All right, guys. What do you think? I think I like it. I think that was a success. Now, you saw most of the work that went into it. I mean, I had maybe 10 minutes of Illustrator getting it prepped, and now I have a file ready to reuse. But paint, mask, peel, paint, mask, peel. I would think that would probably put this up in the $20 range. Man, look at that. Right there is that little red spot, and it is just underneath the rocket ship's tail. So I really do have to fill that in. So yeah, anyway, I think that's a success. I hope you guys like it, and maybe learn something from this tutorial.